How we doing today, guys? This is Jesse from The Common Man. If you're watching this, you've probably seen my videos before. Normally my title's CBD Guy. Today we're going to do something a little different. It's just going to be me today. I started all of this so that way everybody could have a voice and that way everybody could talk. And so I guess it's time for me to use my own platform. Whatever your religious beliefs may be is completely up to you. But I believe that there is a higher authority in this world, in this universe, than the common man. I've had enough experiences in my life, I've had enough things happen, that there is no doubt in my mind that there is something above us, guiding us and helping us. And I have moments where I feel like I am blessed with divine inspiration. Sometimes it's in the things I say. Maybe it's in some of the videos you guys have watched. Maybe it's something that's touched you when I said something. Maybe it's something smart Kyle said. But I believe in divine inspiration. I've had enough thoughts and ideas in my head that I couldn't get out until I wrote them down. And sometimes I would expand on them out loud, and I'm sure there's probably a lot of them over the years that I've forgotten. But lately, with the way things are going, I've been paying more attention to those inspirations. And I write them down. I got me a couple of journals. This one. And I try to keep them close to me whenever I've got them. So that way, if the inspiration hits me, I can start writing it down so that way I don't forget anything. You know, one of the videos you might see soon will be Kyle and I going over something I wrote called the Constitutional Business Bill of Rights. That was something else that was divinely inspired as far as I'm concerned. I felt an urge to write, and that urge didn't leave me until I believe I was done writing. And that's the way most of these go. I write until I don't feel like I have to anymore. Something just tells me that's enough, that's where it needs to go, that's where it needs to end. And that's where I leave it. And sometimes I go back and I read over things and I expand on stuff and I kind of try to flesh out the ideas. But a lot of the time I also just leave them alone. That's kind of what the little book's for. The little black book is more for the instantaneous stuff. And then a lot of the time I'll expand on things in the bigger book. Sometimes certain things are meant to be in the bigger book, I think. Sometimes I'll start to write something out in the smaller book and something tells me to start writing in the big book. I'm going to need more room. I'm going to need better structure because the big book's got lines in it, you know. So that's why I decided to do this video today, out of our normal schedule and out of our normal routine. Because with everything going on in the world right now, I think the inspiration that I wrote down is something we all need right now. Because I'm really scared of what's going on in the world. There's a lot of bad things. There's a lot of people fighting. A lot of people fighting and hurting each other. And I believe there's a better way forward. And so this morning, sorry. This morning as I was finishing up in the shower, a thought popped into my head. And so I kept working that thought out. I talked to myself out loud. If you don't do that, I highly recommend it. Some things are better to hear out loud because they sound better in your head than they do out loud. So I always recommend speaking your thoughts out loud, even if you're alone. And the question that came to my mind was, where's the Black Robe Regiment? That's something I remember hearing about years ago. And, you know, there's discussions on it and everything else. My understanding, the history of the Black Robe Regiment was during the Revolutionary times. There were certain groups of priests and pastors and rabbis and whoever else it was out there that when they saw that everything that was going on, they used their bully pulpit, which was one of the biggest at the time, the church, the pews, getting people to come in there and listen to you behind that pulpit. So those people started speaking out. They started encouraging revolution. They were there right next to each other, and in many cases, they took up arms. So with that question in my head, I'm going to read to you what I wrote down after I got to the shop today, because I think this is something everyone needs to hear, especially our priests, our pastors, our rabbis, and even our imams, anyone who lives in peace. And I encourage you, if you're watching this, to share it with your priest, with your pastor, with your rabbi, with your imam. Whatever religious leaders you have, please share this, because they have been silent for too long, and we're at a loss right now. So before I start bawling anymore, let's read this. So this is the fruition of the divine inspiration I had this morning. In the past, in times of strife and turmoil, shepherds protected their flocks from the wolves that would eat them alive. Throughout history, our pastors, priests, rabbis, and religious leaders have stood up when the turmoil of the world has become too much to bear for their flock. They stood up, they spoke out. Some have even taken up arms in defense of their flocks during times of war. Where are they now? Have the evils of the world creeped into the darkest corners of their mind and made them afraid? Is it fear of losing their flock if they don't agree with the PC culture of the world? What kind of disservice are you doing to your flock if you do not teach them to call out evil when they see it? You are supposed to be the pillar of morality and decency in a community. And yet you stand silent, or even worse, praising the evils of the world and perverting the scripture to fit the spirit of the age. Well, spirits of the age come and go, but eternal truths are forever. Religious leaders used to know that. They used to call evil evil when they saw it. Now they turn a blind eye, or worse, encourage it. Pastors and priests, rabbis and imams, are you blind? Your flocks are in pain and suffering. Where are you? You are the ones we are supposed to look to in times of turmoil. The wolves have turned your sheep on each other. Now they scare and manipulate your flock to fight and kill each other. And when we are done with each other, the wolves will come in and eat the corpses. Because why hunt when the sheep will kill each other for you? Pastors, priests, rabbis, and imams, I am begging you, stop being silent. Your flocks are screaming out in pain and violence. Why aren't you in the streets condemning? Why aren't you in the streets comforting them and helping them find peaceful resolutions to their worries? Why aren't you out there reminding them that peace and love for each other is the only way forward? Why are you silent? Why aren't you out here reminding us that this life is fleeting and only temporary? That we only have a short time and we should use it to come together in peace and harmony to build a better world together. Violence never solves anything. Even in times of war, when the soldiers are dead and the generals are tired, we end up doing the same thing we always had to do. Sit down and talk. Why can't we at least try and start there? Pastors, priests, rabbis, and imams, I'm calling you out. Stand up and be good shepherds to your flocks. Unite like you've done in the past, regardless of doctrine or country of origin. I'm begging you to march in the streets, locked arm in arm for peace. Show your flocks there is a peaceful solution to have their voices heard. Remind them that throughout history, the greatest societal changes, the Reverend Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mother Teresa, all changed the world without firing a single shot. They changed the world without smashing a window or burning a car. These leaders preached peaceful resistance and charity to all. Mother Teresa once said, "People are often unreasonable, irrational, and self-centered. Forgive them anyway." That's something we need to remember. People are people, and always will be. We all will have our moments, but But at the end of the day, love each other anyway. We're just human. We make mistakes. We screw up. But that's no reason to hate each other. Choose love, not anger. Choose peace and not violence. We will all have our moments, but love each other anyway. With malice towards none. Goodbye.